execution to take place and the spirit to be taken to the city of eternity. The time locks had been instituted in the early days of the church, when a series of mishaps had led to a ghost opening the door and escaping. Like everything the church did, the time locks made sense, but Jess couldn't help the tiny thrill of panic that ran up her spine. Trapped. Something she never wanted to be. The executioner fastened the chain end he held to the guillotine and began setting up the skull at the base of the permanent altar in the corner. Smoke poured from his censer and overpowered the scent of bleach and ammonia, the thick, acrid odor of Melidia to send Lupita's soul to the spirit prisons, a gingival and asafoetida burning U-chips to sting Chess's nose. The energy in the room changed. Power slithering up her legs and lifting the hair on the back of her neck, that little rush that always made her want to smile. She didn't, though, not today. Instead, she pressed her teeth together and looked at the condemned woman. Lupita had changed since Chess saw her last, in that miserable hot little basement that stank of terror and burned herbs and poison. Her big body seemed to have shrunk. Instead of the ridiculous silver turban Chess remembered, Lupita wore only her own close-shorn hair. Instead of the silly sideshow caftan, her bulk was hidden beneath the plain black robe of those sentenced to die. But her eyes had not changed. They searched the little crowd, found Chess, and glared, hatred burning from their depths so hot that Chess almost felt it sear her skin. She forced herself not to look away. That woman had almost killed her, slipping poison into her drink, had almost killed a room full of innocent people, summoning a rampaging, violent ghost. Fuck her. She was going to die, and Chess was going to watch. Something slithered behind Lupita's eyes. Chess's breath froze in her chest. Had she seen that? That flash of silver? That flash, which meant Lupita was hosting a spirit in her body? Her eyes widened. She stared at Lupita now, focusing, waiting. It shouldn't be possible. Lupita hadn't been hosting when she was arrested. They would have caught that immediately when she was brought in. And there was no way in hell she would have been able to pick up and bond with a spirit in the church prisons. It simply wasn't possible. The flash didn't reappear. No. She was imagining things, all the stress, the tension of her personal life, what there was of it, and the overbearing sympathy of the elders and the other debunkers, crushing her beneath their concern for her leg and their good intentions. Add to that a few extra seps and a panda, and half a nip to keep her awake. No wonder she was seeing things. What was next? Pink elephants? Elder Griffin stood before the guillotine, cleared his throat. Irene Lowe, also known as Madame Lupita, thou hast been found guilty by the Church of the crime of summoning spirits to earth. Further, thou hast been found guilty of the attempted murder of church debunker Cesaria Putnam. Cesaria, is this woman responsible for those crimes? Jess stood up, despite the protests of her right thigh, and Elder Griffin's slight frown. Yes, Elder. Thou testifiest this based on what? I saw this woman commit those crimes, Elder. And thou swearest thy word to be fact and truth? Yes, Elder, I do. Elder Griffin gave her a curt nod, turned next to Dana Wright, while Chess sank back onto her chair. A woman was about to die based on her word. When her word, the word of a junkie and a liar, the word of someone who'd betrayed her only real friend in the world, wasn't worth shit. He was never going to speak to her again. She'd given up calling the week before. She'd given up hoping she might see him out at Trickster's or Chuck's. Given up hanging around the market in the cold, waiting to see if he turned up. He was still out there, of course. People had seen him. People who weren't her. She'd never known anyone could avoid another person so thoroughly. It was like he could sense her coming. Shifting movement in the standing crowd drew her attention back to the proceedings. The execution itself